Hello, welcome to Fancy Crafts by Tammy. I am going to go ahead and get started. I am going to do this turtle mold, and I have two eyeballs here. I have marked the backs of the top, which is up here, and I did that with this eye as well, and I'm going to put them in place where I want them, and then we'll get started. So anyways, let me go ahead and get this going. So I'm taking my UV resin and I am going to just set it down where I need it. I might have to move it over a little. Let me just clean up this little bit. It's really not going to make much of a difference if there is a little extra there. Okay, let me just straighten it up. I'm going to be putting gloves on for this as soon as I get everything situated. So I will be wearing gloves for this. Okay, so I am going to bring my heat lamp over to it because I don't want to disturb it. I got them placed right where I want them. And then I will flip it over and do this side, just to give it a good UV light on that side. Okay, I think we are good. So anyways, I have that. And then I am going to go ahead and put my gloves on because this will get a little messy. Alright, then I am going to check my epoxy and see where we're at. I'm trying to get it in there where you guys can see it. Okay, we're definitely at a good point now. It's like 348. Celsius. Probably a little warmer than it needs to be, but that is okay. Okay. All right, so I put 28 grams of epoxy in here, and I'm going to set it aside, and I am just going to, whoops, here I dumped it over the side. Give me 1 second. Let me clean this up so it's not sticking to my station. Okay. Something's in there. Trying to fill in the little eyes. Come down in its little fins. And I did 100 grams of A and 90 grams of B. And here in a minute, I'll show you which resin I used. Let me just scrape all of this out. Okay. And clean my stick off. All right, clean my gloves up because I did get it all over my gloves. All right. I just want to make sure it's filled in good and everywhere that it's supposed to be. Okay, I think we've got it filled pretty good. Something's in my resin right there. Got it. Make sure nothing else is. All right, and then I'm going to take my torch and just kind of go over everything. And have something right there. And right there. Okay, I think I've got it all. Okay, so my next thing is going to be I don't think I'm going to get any more out of it. All right, I'm going to take my white paste that I have, and I'm just going to put a little bit on my stick, and I'm going to start with that. And that's kind of where we're at. It's transparent, so I'm going to add a little more. The bottle that I had for this was getting really low, and it ended up just messing up, so I just took it out of the bottle and put it in here. Is all I did. And I'd gotten that white paste off Temu. We're going to see how well this works. All right, so we got a nice little, it's still kind of transparent. You don't want a whole lot. You don't need a whole lot in there. And I am just going to pour it into my little bag here. I'm hoping that you guys can catch all of this, but I'm explaining what I'm doing as I'm doing it. I need to get my alcohol ink going. So let me throw that in there. All right, so I'm setting that aside for the moment. Okay, so here we go. We're just going to go ahead and get started. I am doing Yellow by Let's Resin. And I'm putting it in his head, because I want that to be yellow. And then I am doing Green by Let's Resin. And I'm going to, ooh, we're dripping pretty fast. And I'm just going to come across the front of him and down just about halfway. All right. And then I am going to do Cerulean Blue by Let's Resin. This one's coming out a little bit slower, which is fine. All right, let me see how that's going to turn out. I'm just going to put a couple more drops of the blue over in those spots. Okay, I think we're good with that. Let me set it aside, wipe my gloves off, and pull this out of my cup. Okay. All right. So I just tighten that up. Well, it's stuck. Okay, and I'm gonna just trim a little bit of the tip off. And I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Okay. And I'm just gonna do a nice even little swirly. Okay, I think we're good. I probably had the hole a little bit bigger than I needed to, but that is perfectly fine. Okay, now because as I do not like wasting resin, because I had some left over. I just scraped it back into my little cup, and I'll use it for something else that I have sitting here. Okay, so now I am going to take my little stick here. Got to get it back on there. All right, and I'm going to run it up through. All right, and then I'm gonna run it through there. Same with these for the tips. And same for the fins down here. I'm just gonna do 3 swipes with it. And then I am, let's see, I'm gonna come in all right, and then I am gonna go out and then I'm gonna do a swirly in the middle. Okay. Don't really want to hit that, but I got a couple air bubbles there. So anyways, and that's what we have got. And then I will be back to put a top coat on this. And then I plan on making this into a bowl if it works out okay. So let's see where we get with this, and go from there. All right, this one here. And let me separate a couple spots that I see are kind of and I think that is about it. And I think that that will work out perfectly. And I'll be back to do the next top coat in just a little bit, and then we'll go from there. I'll catch you in a little bit. Bye. Okay, welcome back. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I mixed up 50 grams of A and 45 grams of B, and I had forgot to show you what epoxy I was using. It is this right here, that's part A, and this is part B. So anyways, that's the epoxy I'm using, and I'm using the Jaded Green by Resin. I'm gonna do 1 drop, or actually 2 in there, because I don't want it very dark. We'll see what that gives. Okay, we're just gonna add a little at a time. 3 more drops. One, 2, 3, 4, 5 more drops. We'll see where that is for that. And this is what we're getting so far it's still pretty transparent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because I do want it a little darker. It looks pretty dark, but it's still pretty transparent. Okay, I just gave it another good squirt. And I think we're pretty good right there. I'm happy with that. So I am going to go ahead and put the lid on this. And I am just going to pour. And try covering as much of it as I can. And I know it'll take it all. Okay, and I am just gonna push it right out to the edges and fill it all in. And then we'll let it set up and do its thing. And I'm just about done with this part of it. Just until I get it all filled in. And that's pretty much all it takes. And then I will come back to demold it in the morning. Take some of the bubbles out. I'm trying not to get to the edges. Okay, and there you have it. You still can see through and see it. But I didn't want it to be too dark. I had a couple bubbles there. I just didn't want it to be too dark for the turtle. Okay guys, that is it, and we will be back to demold in the morning, and I'll catch you in a while. Bye. Okay, I'm back. We're gonna go ahead and demold this, and I am gonna try putting it in a bowl. It's still quite soft, so anyways, whoops, put a little smudge on it. Okay, it come right out. Okay, the flippers, you want to try getting out and just kind of work your way around, and then pull the head out, and then come pull this flipper out, and then it should be pretty easy to work its way down to pull the rest of it out. Okay, and this is what we've got. I'll set that aside. Let me wipe my station off a little bit. Okay, here we go. Ooh, look at him. I do have a little bit of a bubble right there, but that's not a big deal. But I think he turned out pretty good. So there you have it. So I am going to grab a bowl. I believe I'm going to use this bowl. Okay, let me just make sure that it's not dusty. Okay. And then we are just going to set this turtle right down in. Just like so. And then we'll let him sit and cure up. And that's what we're going to do. Just to make him into a little bowl. And I will be back to show you the end results of what this looks like once he sets up some. And we'll see you in a bit. Bye. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so here is the turtle. And this is, it's still a little flexible, but it's staying in place. I'll just leave it sitting in there for a little while to harden up. But it's pretty much keeping its shape. And there you have it. And it turned out to be in a nice little bowl shape. Just to give it a little extra. And I might bring the fins up just a little bit more on this because it's still pretty soft. But there you go. And you have it. That is the turtle bowl. All right. I hope you all like it. Have a good night. Bye.